This section is going to cover the spinal cord. So over here we have what are called the major parts of spinal cord. All have different types of functions. This is a visible body picture, and then this is a really good diagram. Has most of the structures that are on here. Just to orient yourself, this would be the posterior portion of the spinal. Well, this is posterior, this is anterior. These are the vertebrae, the spinous process, so they're in the back. So this is the back of the spinal cord, this would be the front. And then this diagram here has all of the spinal nerves. So this is the list we're going to go off of. So I'm going to go to one diagram real quickly. Here, I can kind of get closer, but so what you have, okay, the first thing, these are the meninges. The dura mater is this outside layer. I can't get that much bigger. The arachnoid mater is sort of, it's called a middle layer, this lighter blue here, and then you actually have a space in between the arachnoid and the pia mater. Pia mater is the layer right next to the spinal cord. Anyway, that space over here, it's called the subarachnoid space, and it contains cerebral spinal fluid. CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. We don't really cover this much. The epidural space is this really outside layer, but there are the three layers of the meninges. Couple of parts about this. The lighter area you're seeing there is called the white matter. This area, even though it's kind of brown colored, is the gray matter. And then you have this big indention in the front. This is called the anterior median fissure. And then you have this line in the back, that's the posterior median sulcus. A fissure is a deep groove, sulcus is a shallow groove. And this in the middle is the central canal. So you can see it there, anterior median fissure, posterior median sulcus. Yeah, and this is actually the front, this is the back. Let me go back to our, like I was saying. So anyway, here's the front, here's the back. Now, the rest of your list here, so I kind of did these. Here are the meninges, subarachnoid space. You can't see that on here. White matter, gray matter. Now, the anterior horns are kind of rounded. The posterior are these longer ones. And the back, and I can make this a little bigger, maybe, if I don't exit myself out. Here are the anterior horns of the gray matter. Here are the posterior horns. See how they kind of touch in the back. Now, I'm going to go down to this diagram. I'm doing this because I can make these a lot larger. There we go, right there. So here's the spinal cord, gray matter, white matter, central canal, anterior median fissure, posterior median sulcus. This is the parts of a spinal nerve. Now each side, and it exits through what's called the intervertebral foramen, but each side you have a spinal nerve that exits here. And a spinal nerve really has three parts as it's coming into the spinal cord. So remember, this is the back of the spinous process. There's a dorsal root ganglion here that has some unipolar cell bodies, so it's a little larger area. And then see how it gets narrow here? That's the dorsal root, and that goes into the back of the spinal cord. This is a sensory pathway. Anything coming from outside, as far as a sensory response, pain, pressure, touch, temperature, anything like that, is coming in this way. Now coming off the front this way is the ventral root, and you can see it goes right by the dorsal root ganglion. It keeps coming out, and at some point these merge together to make a spinal nerve. This has the layer taken off. See over here, here's the layer covering. It's called the epineurium. If you take that off, you can actually see the ganglion. You can see the ventral root, and then you can see the dorsal root in the back. Oops, and I forgot I'm on the page, oops, with this. And I believe that is everything with the spinal cord. I gave you the 10-cent tour. Last thing, this is invisible body. Like I said, you didn't have to purchase this, but You can get the apps and things. It's pretty cool. So what I did, and you can see it there, I went in here and I took away some muscle, some vertebrae, because you can do that. And then I got it to where you can see and I cut cross-section of the spinal cord. So there it is. And you can see on the side, here are all the spinal nerves. In fact, I clicked on the disc. There's the dorsal root. There, see it's a little dorsal root ganglion, and then the front is the ventral root. They're coming off, and you can see there's 31 spinal nerves total. So each one would have all three of those parts. And if I can get close, and so just to orient ourselves, so here's the front, here's the back. I wish I could make it straight. It's making my OCD crazy, but here's the anterior median fissure, here's the posterior median sulcus, here's the gray matter, unmyelinated neurons, posterior horns of the gray matter, the anterior horns of the gray matter, central canal, and all this is the white matter. And then, like I said, coming off, and this may not be necessarily this segment, but right here, all those parts of a spinal nerve. So there's the dorsal root ganglion, there's a dorsal root, you can see it's coming in the back, and then off the front, it looks like that one I had taken off, but right there's the ventral root. Okay, so that'd be in the front. So here's the body of the vertebrae, and I'm actually coming in through the back. So that's everything with the spinal cord.